Hi, it's Tim Hagen from Progress Coaching, and welcome to another episode of Coaching Conversations. And I wanted to make you aware of something very cool that we're doing on a subscription basis, and we'll put a link in each one of our episodes. But every Wednesday, we're going to be doing what we call an audio podcast workshop. That workshop will be roughly about 14 to maybe 20 minutes per episode, with each month having a theme from a coaching model, using feedback strategically, to coaching self-awareness, and so on. So if you could look in the body or in the content description of each episode, and you will see a link where you can join this subscription. These are literally 4 workshops every month teaching specific strategies to address a particular area of workplace coaching as it relates, again, to things like awareness, motivation, teamwork, and what have you. Here's the cool thing. It's only $10 per month, and each month you will get a handout that we will follow along with. So we also give you a tool for you to take notes as we go through each episode. We hope you'll check it out. Coaching is all about emotional intelligence. When I think about coaching, I first think about self-awareness. And again, I've cited this, I've cited it again and again and again. I'll probably continue to do it again and again and again. And that is the work by Tasha Eurich. And Tasha Eurich, has a great book called Insight. And in her study, I think it was, thousands of people, 95% of the people surveyed said, yes, I have a high degree of self-awareness. When she tested them, she found out only 10 to 15% were somewhat aware. We at Progress Coaching have been quoted as saying that, coaching is a 2-step process. Number 1, it's getting someone to look in the mirror. Number 2, it's getting someone to take action on that step number 1, but very few people do step number 1 arbitrarily on their own. Now, we are certified in EQI from Multi Health Systems, and when I think about some of the different tenets, and I think about some of the different tenets of emotional intelligence, EQI talks about self-perception, self-expression, interpersonal, decision-making, and stress management. Now, emotional intelligence is really about becoming intelligent about your emotions. And I want to share with you, I just had a conversation. We did what we call an EQI debrief. Basically, we go over the results of their assessment. And one of the amazing things that really hit us when we had this conversation with this gentleman was the interdependencies between issues. And this person had a high degree of decision-making, high degree of problem solving, yet struggled with empathy and impulse control, 2 of the tenets of EQI's assessment results. And as we were having the conversation with this person, we were discussing the interdependencies between these particular areas. One, here's someone who's very good at problem solving. I mean, really good at problem solving, scored very, very high. Yet impulse control was very low, meaning they probably didn't involve people, or they probably interjected, or they interrupted or said, yeah, but. And so when we become intelligent about our own emotions, we become easier to communicate with, we become more approachable, more coachable, we become more open and less resistant to feedback. And those are the kind of things that we can continually do as coaches in the marketplace and facilitating change with our employees. So one of the major things that we always encourage people to do is, if you can find out someone's emotional intelligence, you're going to learn a ton. And when you can educate someone on different strategies and ways to become intelligent about their emotions, good things will happen. Let me give you a case in point. I scored low on empathy. I've always struggled with empathy. I've always been focused on, come on, just work, work through it, overcome it with hard work. And I'm not so sure I've been very thoughtful in my history with past employees. I am very driven by getting stuff done. And I look back and I thought, man, how uncaring I must have come off. And I say that with a little bit of a chuckle, because when you're in the moment, you don't know. You don't pause enough to say, am I showing empathy? So at your organization, everything you do, everything from cross-departmental communication to leadership, to the reception of leadership, to people talking at the water cooler. Everything will come back to people's emotional intelligence. Let me take one of those major areas I just talked about. Have you ever had people from across departments lob email bombs at each other and never really sit down and talk to each other? And then when they have to, they get volatile, they get emotional, they lose all sense of stress control and impulse control because they don't have a foundation of each other. And it's built up, and it then becomes combustible. So when we have to solve a problem together and we don't have context to who we are, guess what happens? We lack self-awareness. We lack how we come off to people. Now, there are many, many different tools out there that measure emotional intelligence. And so when I think about self-awareness, becoming aware of who you are and how you come off, I also think about self-regulation. Think about somebody right now in your life that every time you offer an idea, they say, yeah, but. They cut you off. They already know you're wrong before the end of the second sentence. So self-regulation are those people that I typically call yeah, but Bob. Yeah, but. Yeah, but. And they cut you off. My strong advice is get some information on becoming aware of the opportunity of being tested or assessed. Now, realize one thing. A low score in EQI is not a bad score. A high score does not necessarily mean a great score. It gives you a foundation of working with your people to become intelligent about their emotions. Think about the scenarios I just gave you. And if that triggered somebody in your mind, then you know emotional intelligence is at the forefront. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for listening to another episode of Coaching Conversations by Tim Hagen and Progress Coaching. Now, our company is always coming out with new and innovative solutions to help leaders coach their employees. And recently, we just created a new service called Coach to You, where leaders can pick and choose topics and assign 7 to 21-day programs for employees to learn and, more importantly, apply actions and then reflect and share what they're going to do going forward as a result of the learning. It's called Coach to You. We're literally bringing coaching to your employees. If you're intrigued, we'll have a link in each one of our episodes where you can get more information. And again, thank you so much for listening to another episode.